On now to another item because Sujata is with us. Sujata Din, an absolute pleasure to have you. You're a health coach. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And Tech Up Dave is here as well. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, indeed. Yes, very well indeed. It's time for a sort of super duper biscuit breakdown. So let's play the little sting for that, please.
Or not.
Or not. Are we playing the biscuit breakdown sting? We are. Here we go.
Cardi P's biscuit breakdown.
You just can't get the staff. My goodness. Well, it's a particularly good biscuit breakdown this week because Sujata is here and she is a health coach, and I'm trying to lose a bit of weight at the moment. But in terms of what I'm doing, sort of avoiding chocolate is one of those things. Although I will say that Dave has brought in some Jaffa Cake bars, but there are healthy options when it comes to chocolate, aren't there?
There are many healthy options, and I think what we need to do is not say we shouldn't eat chocolate, because if you stop eating chocolate, you're going to even crave it more. So what I would suggest is, if you're having chocolate, maybe have, if you're having just milk chocolate, because a lot of people get used to what you've always had. So if you've always had a specific brand of chocolate, you always want to continue having that. But could you, within that brand, maybe look for a chocolate which has less sugar and has more cocoa? Because the more cocoa it has in it, the healthier it becomes for you as well. So if you just make a few small changes and, have maybe 50% to start with dark chocolate. Because if you went straight...
dark chocolate is the way forward, you think?
Dark chocolate is the way forward. But also, if you don't feel like just chocolate and it's a dessert, like something that you've got there, can you maybe try and buy or even make something at home? And that's what I do, is I'm teaching how to make healthier treats. So for instance, I loved Bounty chocolate while growing up, but I can make something healthier with less sugar and using more natural ingredients at home. And when I have that, it means I'm just having it guilt-free and not worrying about, gaining weight. But even with a healthy treat, I've always got to say, you've got to make sure you're watching the portion sizes and not have too many of them.
Sujata, I want you to put your money where our mouths are, because we have a few examples of the treats you have here, and Tech Up Dave has valiantly volunteered.
Have you volunteered?
I've taken one for the team.
You've taken one for the team. You're really bringing it. So what have we got here, Sujata?
So here is the Bounty version.
Okay.
So it's
dark chocolate. Dave, what are your...
Just dive in.
What are your... Yeah, go ahead. I'll have one too. No, not just Dave.
Okay.
This is marvellous, thank you. So what is this? This is like a Bounty.
So it's like a Bounty, not exactly a Bounty. So we've got to remember, it's not exactly the same chocolate you grew up having, but it's a healthy version of it. So this has got coconut in it, it's got some coconut milk, some coconut oil, and I've also put in some seeds into it. And, just sort of put it in the fridge so it's set. So I've not used any preservatives. And then just roll it in a ball, put it in the fridge, and then just coat it with 85% dark chocolate. So what's the verdict?
Dave?
I like those.
I like them as well. They're very,
I don't
very
think you're going to
coconutty.
get out of here alive.
You can keep them.
I don't know those. I mean, it's interesting because it has a lot more coconut in it than a Bounty, but at the same time, it's as satisfying, really.
Yeah. And it gives you that sweet kick because I've used a natural sweetener. So you could use maple syrup, you could use honey, you could use brown sugar. So you just use a natural sugar rather than the processed white sugars whenever you're making, or even baking a cake. It doesn't mean you can't have a chocolate cake, but can you just reduce the sugar you're having in it?
Sujata, I see another tub you have here. Tell us what else you've brought.
Okay. So another chocolate that I used to like having was the peanut-based one, which is like the Snickers bars,
yeah.
right?
Oh my, yeah.
So you can try this.
So how is this different from a Snickers then?
So this one has actually got some...
Thank you very much indeed. Thank
So
you.
you try it first, and then I'll tell you what it's got in it.
It's a lot more peanutty.
So yeah, so it's a lot more peanutty, less sugar, and I've also added some honey in it that helps to bind it up. But most importantly, it's got oats in it, and oats are very heart healthy. For us, they've got good sources of fiber as well. So you just mix in different ingredients, and you don't even feel like you're really missing out on the original food.
So I'm helping my heart by eating this chocolate.
Well, it'd be more than just the chocolate, but it's really a combination of many different things we need to do, rather than saying, just one food I'll avoid or one food I'll start having. Can we just begin to think, okay, there's a combination of many different things. Let's do it step by step, and then we look back a few months later and we think, well, actually I've made many changes, but I didn't do too many things at one time. So
Sujata, you are the picture of health. I mean, you are in a way that I hope Dave doesn't mind me mentioning that. Dave and I
say we're going to be shamed here, aren't we?
Dave and I are perhaps not the picture of health. I mean, these things, are they easy to make, or is
very
it
easy? Very easy.
Okay.
I mean, you can make them in 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really easy. But if you don't have time to make it, because maybe somebody might just say, well, that stops me from being healthy, you can actually buy things, even in the supermarkets, but just read the labels, even read beyond the labels, because sometimes we don't understand the ingredients. I always think if you don't understand the ingredient, pick up something else that you understand the ingredient of.
And what about just wolfing one of those bars? You've got a few of those dark chocolate bars.
Yeah,
I mean, is that just the way forward as well? Is that something?
This is one of the chocolates I love having. So I'll be having, if I just place them this way, so I'll be having the 85%. But I mean,
85% cocoa. That's bitter. A lot of people would say. So yeah.
Yeah. So this one's
Hold
really.
it up there.
I can be the model.
The model. Yeah. You're like the women in Bruce's Price is Right, stroking the fridge.
Something like that.
So that's the 85%. Less sugar, a lot less sugar, but it is really bitter because it's got more cocoa in it. And when people say I crave chocolate, often I think, are they really craving chocolate or are they craving sugar? Because if you really crave chocolate, you'd be fine with that. So you've got to ask, is it chocolate or sugar? Because if you look at the same brand, it's got the 37%. You can model
that's very different. That's a very different one, yeah.
So that's so much higher in sugar. So that's when you have sugar cravings. You go for that, but you slowly begin to make a shift where you're working through that, and you'd maybe have the 70% in the middle.
Beef it up, yeah.
Okay. So it's baby steps always.
And it's interesting because, Dave, you've spotted something in the Daily Mail which says don't use phrases such as pig out, eating like a horse, or wolfing down your dinner because it makes obese people feel like animals, say dietitians. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, Phil Dave had found this in the paper this morning and was still rolling around the office laughing.
What do you think, Sujata? Should we say people pig out, eating like a horse, that sort of thing? Is that helpful?
I don't think it's helpful, but it would be saying, maybe you've got a very big appetite, or, can you manage your portions a little bit better rather than trying to make somebody feel... Most people, if they're overweight, they're already not feeling good in themselves. So if you begin to, use words that make them feel worse, they're less likely to want to make a change. So just maybe using words like, managing your portions, or understanding what to eat, putting it in a nicer way.
Absolutely.
But in some respects, it is taking it to the madness of we can't say we're going to go pig out because it's
indeed.
sort of like
I think you're right, Dave.
Saturday night and takeaways usually involves let's go and pig out.
Pig out.
Well, Rod has been in touch. He says Peter, coconut is one of the highest and worst cholesterol contents of almost any other food. Sujata's Bounty is a healthier alternative. Is that
so actually that's the other thing. That's why I said earlier, even if it's a healthy food, you want to look at the amounts that you're having of it, because coconut is high in fat.
Yes.
So I'd add seeds in it. By adding seeds in it, it reduces the amount of coconut that's being used in it. So it's really a balance of making sure you've got some fibre in there and you've got the healthy fats, but also not too much sugar.
Yeah.
So it's a balance, and even if it's healthy, I wouldn't say have 4 or 5 of those, maybe one or two.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sujata, thank you. She's a health coach. Can we just briefly look at Jasper, who's our cat of the week? If we just put Jasper on the screen, maybe not the music for cat of the week, but just Jasper, because we are running out of time here. He's been nominated by his cat mum, K2020. He's a friend to cuddly Brussels sprout. He loves sitting on furniture, has a passion for desserts, and when not watching Talk TV, Jasper can be found. Where can he be found, Dave?
He can be found writing music in his home studio, as you will see in just a few moments on the screen.
Oh, excellent. Oh, he's writing music in his home studio.
So there he is, stuffing his face with a dessert.
I will put this on my Twitter, @PeterCardwell, if you're listening on Talk TV.
And there he is in the studio.
In the studio. That's very impressive. So Jasper is our cat of the week this week. Sujata, we always do a cat of the week because we have lots of people who love cats, and giving dreamies to my cat is something my cat Jack only do every now and again, because obviously you've got to be careful with the treats for the cats as well. But some people have very kindly sent me in some dreamies as well, which is good, which Dave hasn't eaten. So that's good.
No, funny that.
Sujata, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate you coming on. Sujata Den, she's a health coach and has brought us some delicious chocolate treats there. Tech Up